I think folks would be surprised to know that Blaze was not my first business that was launched, right? I talked about my book that I authored being the first time that I really created a product, right, and did commerce. But Freedom and Fragility was the first company, the first brand that I launched. It came on the heels of releasing that book and having such an overwhelming response from women and men, honestly, across races, of what it meant for them to see such deep parallels in the things that they could not utter with their lips as it relates to my life and my story. And the theme that just kept coming out in a line from my book that people just hung on to was the fact that I found freedom and fragility. Like, it was exiting these pressures of perfection and workaholism and validation addiction, all of these things, and was able to come to terms with the fact that I do wrestle with mental illness. Right? Like, that is in my blood, that is in my cells, it has been in my lineage. And there are parts of me that are so fragile, that I, at that time and still sometimes today, don't even know what to do with. But there is freedom in loving those parts of me. So that was my first business. And I got reps in commerce. I got reps in doing partnerships. So I did a lot of partnerships with Black women therapists and artists, poets, singers, just working to amplify and curate these experiences and conversations around cycles of silent suffering. I was living on the continent even as I launched this brand and grew this brand. I even created these healing boxes where I had soaps and oils, all natural, all sustainably sourced from a market in Zanzibar. It's downtown Zanzibar. And my plan was to do a subscription box where I would send these healing boxes from Freedom and Fragility, and people would pay for the subscription. But it was a nightmare from the cost to the logistics to shipment and all of this stuff. And so, I was running that brand alongside Blaze Group, because the way that I was able to pretty quickly monetize my skills was by assisting people with their PPP forgiveness applications, right? So I would do consultations there. And then a lot of folks actually wanted me to consult them around strategy for the money they were making from YouTube for being influencers, and the money they were making as therapists that had gone virtual. I built a course, right, to really productize a lot of this knowledge, and that it wasn't called Blaze at the time. Initially it was Richardson and Co. But as these two brands started growing and maturing, I very quickly saw, I'd say probably within the first 9 months, right, 9 to 12 months of being inside of Freedom and Fragility, and the first 3 or 4 months of being inside of what is now known as Blaze, I saw that my most profitable skills actually sat on this business side, where there was a bottom, right, to the knowledge, the deep knowledge that I could pull on the wellness side. I'm not a therapist, right? I'm not a practitioner around wellness. I'm not a person that can do, meditation classes or yoga classes, and nor did I want to. But on this business side, man, like there's just such a deep vertical of knowledge and case studies and experiences that I could pull from. I saw that as being where my most profitable skills lie, and I decided to put Freedom and Fragility down, so that I could fully immerse myself inside of serving Black women entrepreneurs, and the rest is history. I'll have to tell you though where that name came from, because Richardson and Co. is where it started.